Hey everybody, this is Random Vaughn, and I'm coming to you live from Danks Wonder Emporium, hosted on Dank Network, and this is the industry show, and I have the absolute pleasure, pumped to be with MR Wholesale. Guys, I always call it Made Right Wholesale. Hey, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So guys, you are watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, Instagram. We're not on Live Me right now, but I think that's enough networks for you guys to catch us. Any questions you guys have for Made Right Wholesale about their oil, about their pre-rolls, about their flour, anything you want to know about them, chime those in. I get them fed to me, and I'm going to get to as many of them as I humanly possibly can. So definitely hit those up, guys. But let's dive into it. Tell us about where you guys are located, where you're from, how you got into this.
So we're actually located in Eastern Washington, Spokane. I got into this industry about almost 2 years ago.
Okay. So always recreational?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's like, you guys are a unique breed, even over there where it's like you got in and were never had any association with medical. Did you ever have your personal medical card or anything like that? Or did you move out here for the industry?
Indeed. I came from Pennsylvania.
Ooh, what is there any kind of, now Pennsylvania got medical now?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, but they don't have recreational, right?
No.
Okay, were you in Pennsylvania back when it got medical?
No, I was out here. It just went medical, I think, last.
Yeah, like last year was a big thing on the vote. I remember that.
Yeah.
So, well, what is weed like in Pennsylvania? Just, I mean, I'm not trying to get too far off topic, but I
Yeah,
love knowing about what is it like in other states.
It ain't like is it out here? No, it's different. It's harder to come by.
Yeah, exactly. You really got to know a guy and hope that guy knows how to grow.
Yeah, but I knew someone, and it was chronic. So
that's good.
I've always had my share.
Yeah, I've had the good hookup.
Yeah.
So, so let's just take it back. Tell the audience who you are, what's your role at the company, kind of give us that kind of bio info so we all have a strong foundation of what we're talking about.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Chris Hopper. I'm the facility operations manager at Made Right. Previously, I was the lead extractor.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And my background's biochemistry, so I like to geek out when it comes to cannabis.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were doing all the extracts, making sure it was all fire, and then basically they had to move you in and make sure that everything just in the general is running right. And so you're kind of with that degree, you're making sure that the plants are happy, you're making sure that the oil is good, and all those kind of things. Is that kind of the basis?
Indeed, absolutely, all the way.
Okay.
And searching out, looking for purest, clean ingredients for our edibles. We do candies. We make them with distillate.
Nice.
We use USP grade therapeutic essential oils. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, we're going to dive into all the products and that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you, the question that always gets asked, always comes up really, really early on. I see people are already chiming in even on your feed. What is the day in the life out at your guys' facility? Tell me, how big is the facility? How many employees are there? Do you guys start early in the day, late in the day? Kind of give us the behind the scenes since we're not actually there.
Yeah. Okay. So the processing facility, we got a big kitchen where we make our edibles. Mm-hmm. We have a lab where we do our distillations, and our workups on crude oil, clean it up. And we have a closed loop extraction room with 2 closed loops, and we run, first shift starts at 5 a.m. and we run till about 9 p.m. at night. And so we got people processing there usually 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, never stops, more or less.
Yeah, that's the thing about, like, when I hear about like some of even the CO2 companies, and we'll get into exactly what kind of extractions you're doing, but they're even running like 3 shifts on just go. Like, there's always somebody there 7 days a week.
Yeah.
You can't even do that in some states. Like Oregon, you have to be out. Like, it's like, I don't remember what their crazy laws is. Even for growers and processors, like, you literally have to be out of the building by like 7 p.m.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's something crazy like that.
Okay.
Every state changing their laws, figuring out what they want to do, all those kind of things. But so you have the kitchen, you got the processing lab,
and the
those
farm.
guys, and then the farm.
Got a tier 2 farm. We run 3 hoop houses and we veg indoors.
Okay. Oh, okay. So, like, what you guys decided is that indoor space is much more important to have the kitchen, the processing, all that, and you decided to go outdoor hoop houses. Was that just because you're really trying to get that THC to be making the extracts and making the edibles, and so you're just trying to get the cheapest sugar, as I might say, or is it just that you find it to be a better product when you're selling the A grade bud?
Yeah. So actually, the farm we're focusing on concentrates, and And so we don't do a whole lot of jarred flower. We save those quality buds for our sugar wax line.
Gotcha.
And so the majority of the flower grown at the farm is processed in-house.
Gotcha.
So we like to keep it single source. You know, I like to have eyes on the plants, the grow practices, hygienic practices, what kind of nutrients, pesticides they're using, and what better farm do I have more oversight and knowledge of than our own farm.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm just letting you know, if you are watching live right now and you're Chris's friend, don't call him. He is live. It always happens almost every episode. All good, all good. So diving in, the things that we like to talk about on the industry show is really what is at your guys' core. How did you guys get into it? What are your feelings and passions around the industry? Those kind of things. So talk to me about, you're sitting in Pennsylvania. You go, I want to get in on this industry. I'm just assuming that's the thought. So tell me, what was the thought process for you to move across the country to get in on this industry?
Okay, so before I came out here, I was in the military for 4 years. I was an Army medic, and I spent a lot of time in the VA and in the hospital, and I got to see the vets seemed to have trouble getting access to proper care.
Okay.
Not all the times, but in some cases.
Yeah, definitely.
And some other vets saw great success and help medicating with cannabis. And so I said, I need to crack the code on this and find out what's going on.
Okay.
And I need to go to a state where I'm going to be able to, your research, work with it, get hands-on. And
at that point, you weren't doing growing, you weren't those kind of things. You were literally just, if you consumed, you had to find somebody. You hadn't really dived in back then.
Nope, not myself.
Okay, gotcha.
Our lead grower has been growing for almost 2 decades.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But myself, nope. I was just the biochemist nerd who loved smoking pot and wanted to come out here and crack it.
So you come out here, and your first job was with MR Wholesale?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And did you immediately go into the extraction lab, and you were like, just because you had that background, you're like, oh, I can figure this out?
I did. Took about maybe a month, and I figured out how closed loop works and butane propane extractions.
Yep.
And that wasn't enough. And then immediately after that, I started looking at distillates and isolations of cannabinoids, crystallines.
Yep. Do you guys do any of the crystalline?
Very soon.
Oh, okay.
Very soon.
Well, there we go, guys. Obviously, this show is the one that always gets those pre-announcements that no one knows about. Be obviously looking out. Do you have any kind of timeline on when that might hit the shelves?
I actually don't right now.
Oh, okay.
I have all the equipment. I'm waiting on a couple more things, and then I'm going to start experimenting. And,
nice. And then, refining, you got to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been working on our distillates for about 9 months now.
Okay.
And now it's at the point where I'm very confident and very happy where it's at, and it's ready for the market.
Gotcha. So in the past, you've just been making it for in-house and then putting it into the edibles, and now you're looking at then taking it and going and coming to market where you'll have it something like in a syringe or in a cartridge. What is your guys' thought process?
I think for the immediate foreseeable future, probably in a syringe or a dropper, we could call it.
Sorry, man, I come from the medical days. When
I know. To me, it's a syringe.
I'm just letting you know, back in the medical days, you literally couldn't find them to buy. And I remember when we were putting RSO, I called a veterinary clinic in California, and they shipped me like 1,000 of them. And never asked any questions.
No
I was just, all right.
1,000 syringes.
Yeah,
no problem.
Yeah, got a bunch of sick dogs. Like, what? So that is the stories from back then. Obviously, for us now, it's like there are companies that they do like Kush bottles or something like that.
Yeah,
where there's all they do.
You order 10,000.
Exactly.
No one blinks an eye.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Washington. Yep.
No
we
problem.
got this.
Yeah.
So it is actually funny when I get to go around and be at other seminars or events and that kind of stuff for states that don't have our pre-pack, and they are kind of in that back day of trying to then source these kind of things or figure out the packaging and then not understanding the volume of no, man, when you're packaging grams, you're buying 100,000 bags. You know what I mean? Because it's okay. You grew 500 pounds. That's times 454 grams. That's a lot.
A lot of stickers.
Yeah,
it's a lot
of everything.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but let's get back to MR Wholesale.
Yes.
I really want to understand. Why don't we dive into the products you guys have right now? For someone who's never seen you guys before, never seen your products in a store, talk to me about all the products. And is there only one brand? Is it all MR, or do you guys have sub brands that someone else may have heard of?
It's very interesting that you bring that up because right now we are all MR, but I'm looking to. We're going to be launching a higher end brand here very soon. All premium, high terpene extracts, live resins, shatters, really small batch premium extracts.
Okay.
But MR made right. That's going to be the core, and the core of that really consists of a couple things. Edibles, which are candy, is our primary focus. We do hard candy lozenges. They're 5 milligrams a piece, so it really allows the consumer to titrate up to that perfect dose where they're achieving therapeutic effect, but it's not too much and they can still function. They taste great. We make them with distillate, so there's no bitterness, no RSO, there's no lipids or waxes in there. It's just clean THC, just cannabinoids, and then we talked about some therapeutic grade essential oils. So we had some terpenes in there to help modulate the activity of that THC and also flavor the candy. And so on the flower side, our focus is primarily pre-rolls, I would say. Because like I said, a lot of the bud we use for extractions, we use for our concentrates. And most any other buds, our pre-rolls are all bud. We grind them on demand when you order. So they are as fresh can be when they show up. Yeah. Just little things like that we've noticed that really improve the quality of the product that we're putting out.
Gotcha.
And then on the concentrate side, we right now we're specializing in crumbles and sugar waxes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that you said you guys actually wanted to launch a brand that's even a higher end than Made Right. So in your opinion, what is the brand of Made Right? Is it a mid-shelf brand? Is it a value brand? Is it a cost-effective brand? Like, what is Made Right, and why would you guys think about having a different high-end brand? Most people come on and it's always like, oh, well, this is our brand, and now we're going to do a cheap value brand or something like that. So you guys are going a different direction, and that's very interesting. I want to understand more about that.
Yeah, sure. So Made Right, we want it to be a reliable, continuous experience. And so really it's about high quality at an affordable price.
Gotcha.
The crumble is more of our economically friendly solution. And
like you guys have kind of a sugar wax and then you have a crumble.
Yes.
Do you have two different price points? I don't do the buying. I don't, so you have two different price points between a sugar wax and a crumble. Break me down and help me understand that. Help the consumer understand that on why would a crumble be cheaper, or why should a sugar wax be more expensive than a crumble?
So it's not so much the consistency of the oil, delegating the price point, but more of the raw material that we use to make that.
Gotcha.
So in order to make this a consistent, reliable experience, we are making our crumble. Usually it's like $20, retail.
Yep.
Out of trim.
Okay.
And the sugar wax is premium de-waxed nug run. So a little bit more time is taken to remove the lipids from that. And it's a lot terpier and saucier because of it,
Yeah, exactly.
From buds.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm kind of just associating a consistency with a input material and trying to keep that a 20 and a 30 price point. I feel like it's most accessible to most people.
Gotcha.
That's what I would want to spend, $20.
Yeah. The interesting thing about that you say that regarding the sugar wax and nug run, I mean, on the rec market, nug runs had basically disappeared for a very short period of time. Like, we couldn't find anybody everyone's like, oh, it's not cost effective and all that kind of stuff. And now you're seeing it kind of come back a little bit. There's some guys that are putting it on it. Maybe it means mostly popcorn nugs or whatever, but it is surprising that people are now coming back and saying, no, people really do want the quality. It's not all just about getting the cheapest price out there to the market and those kind of things.
No,
there's strong competition, and we'll talk more about that here in a second, because I know even since we've had you guys on the shelves that there have been several different pricing variations. There's been, increased competition, and so people are competing, and your guys' stuff is, I don't remember what price point it started at, but now I know it's, especially on the crumble side, it's basically out the door to the consumer under 25,
yeah,
and which is a very a very good value proposition for full grams, not talking half grams. I mean, back in the day, I mean, it was very common, $25 half grams. That was the that was the thing. So, things have obviously changed. What have you guys had to do to adjust with that price pressure that so many producer processors are feeling? Have you guys changed your extraction method? Have you changed your processes? Give me some ideas of what's going on in your guys' world to meet the supply and demand curve and the competition.
Yeah, so in order to offer these quality concentrates that we're going for at an affordable price, we really had to revisit our extraction process and maximize labor and production and raw material. You can spend an hour running 2 pounds and get a 20% return off good material, or you could spend an hour and get 5% return.
Exactly.
The 20% is where you want to be.
Yeah, you don't want to be wasting the same amount of labor and getting, definitely.
Right.
So was that you guys were getting material from other farms and processing it and then just getting bad yields, or was this just you determining, hey, take all the fan leaves out, don't waste our time packing a tube with that? Like, talk to me about what are we talking on? How did you evaluate those processes and say that you guys, do you have a formula where it's literally before you'll run something you can determine and say yes or no? Or is it still back in the medical days, man? It was like, put it in the tube.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to find out. You don't know. Like, how have you, has it gotten more scientific now that it's recreational is my question.
Well, I haven't come up with like a hard rubric, I guess you could say, that I reference the flour against.
Gotcha.
But, having done this for a year and a half and running thousands and thousands of pounds, I can just look at flour and tell you it's going to return between X and Y.
Gotcha.
The terp profile is really going to come through nicely or not so much, depending if it's more monoterpene dominant or sesquiterpenes. And
gotcha.
but yeah, no, I like to get eyes on all the flour. I make the call whether what we do with it, how we run it, and pass that along to the extraction crew. And those guys, they do a flawless job of executing. I mean,
nice.
Yeah, we're about to gear up to that 24/7. I want to get a third shift.
Oh, you want to get a third shift?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're going to dive into that in just a second, actually. Yeah. Guys, once again, you're watching the Industry Show presented by Danks Emporium, and you're watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Periscope, and now even Twitch. If you guys have questions, it doesn't matter what platform it is, chime those in, get those into us. I'm asking as many of your guys' questions here to Chris from Made Right Wholesale, getting a better understanding about their processes, behind the scenes, their quality of products. Any question you want, get it to us. I will try and get to as many of them as possible. So with that, for those oil heads watching, we're obviously diving in detail because you were the lead extractor there for a while. And you did talk about running, you guys have run obviously thousands and thousands of pounds. It's just different economics in the recreational market. But dive in. Let's talk about some of the equipment that you guys are using. Not trying to give any specific shout outs, but now that the closed loops have to have engineering, so mostly there are brands that people are picking up to. You're not making these yourselves. I heard one person try and say that they'd made it themselves, and I was like, oh, I don't believe you. So what units are you? What brand did you guys go with? And are these BHO? Is it PHO? Is it a mix? What are you guys doing as that first baseline of extraction?
Okay, so like the initial extraction, it's a terp system based out of Colorado.
Yeah, those guys do great stuff.
Yeah, we're really, I've been loving the equipment. It's safe, it's reliable, it makes a good product.
Yeah.
It's getting good returns.
Is that a bottom feed? Are they still doing it from where you're like filling it from the bottom? Or are they doing the top feed?
You can do both ways.
With their terps.
Yep.
What do you guys decide to do? Do you decide to go from the bottom or the top?
Both.
Really?
Yeah.
There you guys. You get the behind the scenes weird. I mean, obviously, I think there's 4 people that even understand what we're talking about. So I do apologize, guys. Sometimes we get a very, very specific on the show. But okay, so that is your base. And are you guys doing a butane, propane, or a mix?
A blend.
Oh, you do a blend?
Yes, sir.
Do you like that? I mean, the classic one that everyone back in the day used to hashtag that was 70-30. It's a 70-30 mix. Are you guys making your own mix in-house, or do you pre-buy the mix? There are some companies that I know will sell a pre-done propane-butane mix.
Yes. We actually are getting our hydrocarbon through Oxarc.
Oh, okay.
Instrument grade 99.9.
Yep,
as clean
exactly.
as it gets.
Yep, exactly.
We pre-buy the blends from them to ensure it's accurately made.
Yep.
And then we redistill it and clean up the solvent before we actually implement it in the system.
Smart. Yeah. Okay. So that's what you guys are doing at that point. Obviously, from there, that's what is like coming off of your waxes and your sugar wax and those kind of things. And then, are you guys then taking that and turning it into some of it into distillant, or are you running completely different equipment to do your distillant? A lot of people are just choosing to use and do basically alcohol all the way through to get to a distillant, or are you guys basically running those machines and then just taking that same material that's not as good, not as terpy, not the quality that you were looking for, and turning that into distillant? Where are you guys at?
That's exactly what we do.
Gotcha.
If it doesn't meet my standards or what we're looking for, boom, it goes to distillate.
Gotcha.
We will not put out subpar BHO.
So how do you guys make the determination? And I mean, maybe it's just, I can't assume at the volumes that you guys doing that it's happenstance or even luck that you're going to have enough bad material to turn a distillant to have the edible line. You literally have to like, I mean, you have to always be keeping that going. That's the big thing, is like when we sat down with other companies that are in the candy business or in the brownie business, cookie business, whatever, you got to feed that beast. It almost seems to take over on a lot of the other stuff where, it's like, man, well, we always need this much clear because, help us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so how have you guys determined, is it that you just know a source where you know that this material is not going to be great and terpy, and so it's just because you have so much quote unquote not top shelf material to process to make the edibles? Is that how you fix the problem? That's where I'm trying to to understand it.
Right. Usually I'll source specifically for distillate.
Okay,
a lot
gotcha.
Of times. Very, it's not very frequent that something comes out of the ovens and I'm like, it should have been good, but it's not. It's going to distillate. That I usually try to avoid that.
Yeah, of course.
So we'll source raw materials specifically for distillate, because at the end of the day, when you're pulling distillate, you're isolating a molecule.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it looked like
before.
Black soup it was before.
Yeah.
We're just pulling the goodness out.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
you're making it raw salt. Salt is salt. I mean, that's the way I always describe it to people, of like, there is no. So one thing that we've talked a lot on the show, I feel there's a lot of confusion in the marketplace. I want to get your opinion on it, since you've actually made distillate. Is there are companies selling edibles, you guys sell edibles, with distillate in them, and then we'll put on the package, this is an indica, this is a sativa, those kind of things. I'm not going to name the companies. I just want to get your opinion on, is there actually an indica or sativa when you have a distillate? And then the second follow-up question is, let's just do that. I'll ask the follow-up second. So give me your opinion on, is there an indica and sativa in a distillate form?
In my opinion, I don't think so.
Okay.
I believe the terpenes are the ones, the molecules responsible for whether it's more of a sativa or more of a relaxing indica.
Yeah.
But I would say that the edible made with distillate behaves more like a sativa. It's more clear-headed. With RSO, a lot of times during the decarboxylation process, you'll produce CBN, which is a sedative. But when you're making it with distillate, it's just THC. So you don't have that antagonizing effect of CBD and CBN.
Yeah.
And so it's a much more clear-headed, energized edible.
Yeah.
And it's, I find it great for daytime use.
Yeah.
It just keeps you going.
I agree with you on that 100%. And so with that, you kind of already just jumped into the follow-up question, but let's just get even a little bit more specific. People come in and they're looking for edibles, and with so many of them being made from distillate now, and they're like, man, I want an edible that's going to put me to sleep. What would be your recommendation to that? Is that almost, hey, go to capsules, go to basically just stay away from, because there isn't anything in those that is going to help you relax? I mean, there are some capsules where people are even putting melatonin in them on top of it and those kind of things.
Yeah.
But what would be your suggestion to somebody who wants an edible that's going to help them relax, go to sleep, fix any of those issues, when you know that not just you guys, but other edible companies are also just using distillate?
Yeah, and what's interesting, everyone reacts to cannabis so differently.
Oh,
because
true.
There's so many compounds in it, and everyone reacts differently. So, what I think is a nice clear-headed experience from the THC distillate, other people, it still relaxes them, and they still find sedation in it, and it works for them.
Totally.
But as far as something specifically designed to relax and to fall asleep, coming soon.
Okay.
Without so many words.
There we go. Okay, man. There's going to be several big announcements here today from MR
no kidding.
Wholesale. So not to beat a dead horse, but I'm going back there. You did say that you guys may come out with a top line brand. Are you able to announce that name now on the show, or does that need to be closed lip?
Let me keep my lips sealed on that one for another week or two.
Oh, another week or two. Okay, guys. So then let's do this just for the fans out there that are watching. I want to give a shout out. Where can they find you guys online? Facebook, YouTube, your website. How can they follow you so when that announcement comes up, they're going to hear about it?
Yeah, so we're still building up a lot of our social media outlets, but the one that we focus the most on right now is our Instagram.
Okay.
It's Made Right 502.
Okay.
So you go there. I'm always posting pictures of our latest, sugar waxes, crumbles, distillates.
Nice.
And so
So
yeah.
it's Made Right, not MR. It's just Made Right 502.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Guys, obviously give them a follow. I'm just going to do this one. Have you guys ever been deleted? And knock on wood, but have you guys ever been taken down?
Not yet. Haven't hit that benchmark.
Oh, okay,
Looking
gotcha.
forward to it. It's kind of like you've made it.
Yeah,
you've down.
Yeah, oh yeah, trust me, they do that. So I would tell you to give a shout out to your backup Instagram. So you should make a backup
Probably
one.
should get on that.
You should get on that.
Yeah, ASAP.
Of always having people like follow this one and follow this one.
Yeah, now that we're all live on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
here they
So,
come.
but anyways, diving more into. Kind of talk to me about more the company. How many people are there working? What does the team structure look like? And then, trust me, the questions that always come up are people want to know how to get a job and all those kind of things. We'll get into those. But talk to me about how big is your guys' team? Tell me, what is the company structure like over there?
Okay, so people think we're this huge company, and we're just a small, medium size. I'd say about 15 people
Oh,
at
nice,
the
yeah.
processing facility,
Okay.
and maybe 10 out at the farm.
Okay.
But
Is the farm literally like right outside, or did you guys split it into two totally different areas? Because some people are literally like having these things on different sides of the states.
it's not quite that far, but it is separated.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, maybe about like 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Why did you guys decide to have it that far apart? Was it just the physical processing location you found was too good to pass up?
It was both. For the processing facility was great, and
Yep.
then the location for the farm was great. And
Oh, gotcha.
we just had to pull the trigger on both and just had them separate.
So when the company was getting up and going, did you have a situation where the farm got started first or the processing location got, they're not always going to get, like, did your liquor control board officer license both on the same day? I'd find that hard to believe. So
No,
give us
the
that.
farm won first, and then the processing facility shortly followed.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it was just a matter of months, I think, a couple months.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
one right after the other.
Okay. And since you guys are based over in Spokane area, I'm not going to say exactly there, but over on that side, I mean, you guys have very harsh winters and you got great summers for growing. Are you guys growing also in the winter, or are you basically, besides just keeping mothers alive and clones prepped and that kind of stuff, do you basically shut it down during the winter for your flower?
No, we don't. The greenhouses are climate controlled, so we
Nice.
light up and we grow through the winter.
Right. Let me ask you a question, because I did just hear this about the Spokane area, and if I'm pronouncing Spokane right, I apologize.
No, you
but
nailed it.
There we go. I nailed it. Are you guys having to heat those things with like propane heaters? I heard something crazy about that when you guys get all that snow that you're not getting to use the normal means of heating these things and that kind of stuff. Because normally in growing here on this side, it would be like, oh, just turn on the lights, man. It's going to heat up everything.
Right.
But like you actually would need, those lights wouldn't even heat it up enough considering how cold your winters are. Tell me about that.
We actually have some industrial heaters in the
Really?
greenhouses. Yep. And then in the summer, we, large fans.
Yeah, of course.
And that keeps the climate,
Right,
happy enough.
right spot.
Yep. Good.
That is so crazy that
Yeah.
you guys have to, even on top of, I'm assuming, I mean, most people are still using high pressure sodiums and those kind of, especially on the flowering and especially in greenhouses. People aren't all into LEDs yet and not having that heat off put. So it's just crazy to me to think that like you guys wouldn't have enough lights in there to be like, oh no, man, we can crank this puppy up to 100 if we want.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we don't need to run it all winter long. It's
Yeah.
like those weeks where it's
just
zero or in
yeah,
negatives.
gotcha.
But those 2 weeks could wipe out a whole crop.
True. And then the other thing is, I guess technically you don't have the lights on all the time, and so then once you turn them off, during those few hours that they're off, I mean 12 hours, then you would have to have a different heating source.
Yeah, and even if they're off during the day,
yeah, exactly, it's still 0
still
degrees.
could be 0 degrees.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They're not liking that.
Gotcha.
At all.
Okay. So let's get kind of back to products, people seeing you on the shelf. What is the number one thing you want a bud tender to know, you want a consumer to know about the Made Right wholesale company, either your guys' quality, just your brand in general? What is that one thing you always are like when you guys are having a vendor day here? A big shout out to you guys coming on into Danks Emporium. They are having a vendor day, guys. It technically starts at 3. I do believe someone's on the floor right now early. And so, guys, it's 20% off all their products all day long, not just over the time period that they're here. They're going to be here between 3 and 6, 3 to 7, depending how long they want to hang out and smoke with us.
Oh, yeah. Came fully loaded, too.
Exactly. So be prepared to watch the Chronicast today. It's going to be a crazy special edition, Smoking with the Master. But with that, what is that one thing you want to get consumers, you know, what do you want them to know about you guys?
Okay. It's all in the name. We make it right.
Okay.
You know, take our time. We clean our equipment properly. Use distilled ethanol to clean it. So I run it through the rotovap. It helps remove flavonoids. So when the alcohol evaporates, there's no flavorings or adulterants left behind in the equipment. It's clean as can be. We take our time distilling our solvent, our butane propane. You know, hair nets, beard nets, all the, you know, the whole 9 yards on the hygienic practices. And beyond the actual closed loop activities, sourcing flower that comes from farms with, you know, excellent grow practices, excellent hygienic practices, and just ensuring that it's clean and done right throughout the whole process.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah.
So were you around during the coming up with the name of the company, or was that some other owner group, or what is that structure of who are the owners and who are the founders, and who came up with the name Made Right?
Yeah, so the financiers, Max and Rebecca.
Okay.
Started
it all comes around.
And very quickly they were like, Made Right.
Right.
You know,
there we go.
Because we make it right and we do it right.
And are they Washington natives? Did they were they ever in the medical industry, or what's kind of the lifeblood story behind the company? Did they, I mean, obviously, did they apply during 2012 and get a license in 2013, 14, or did they buy someone else's license later down the road? Tell me kind of the origin story of these two individuals and Made Right.
Yeah, well, they've been in Washington, as far as I know, for quite some time, and you know, they both believe that cannabis has a lot to offer, you know, therapeutically, and it's just, you know, it's cannabis. You know, it's like, yeah, it should be up to the individual if they want to use it or not.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
they were all about it, and they really wanted to see what it could do for people who maybe traditional pharmaceuticals don't work, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, that's kind of why they got into it, and it was right away. One of the first ones. We were one of the first processors to be licensed in Washington.
Oh, nice.
I think maybe the first in Eastern Washington.
Really?
Actually, yes.
Okay, interesting.
Yes.
So, and you were a part of that, or did you come in later on? Because you said you've been in the industry 2 years, and so maybe on my dates are wrong.
They had a year on me before.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep,
okay, interesting.
It came out, and I wanted to extract, and I could not, you know, this is my life. This is all I do.
Okay,
all day long.
So let's now, as I want to dive into this, because I know definitely people are interested when you come in and you're sitting there, because everyone's like, okay, there are people watching. We get a lot of viewers on the East Coast, especially during the industry show, because it's 5 o'clock there or whatever.
Yeah.
And so with that, it's always like, hey, I want to move across the country. Hey, I'm trying to land a job before I move. And that's always the hardest thing for most producer processors. Like, well, man, you kind of got to be out here. I got to interview you. We got to feel it out. So I'm not giving you a job sight unseen, right? But for you to especially move all the way out here, most people don't move from the East Coast and go, you know where I'm going to land? Spokane. You know, everyone's coming to Seattle or Portland or LA or, you know, the big cities trying to look at an inn. Did you pre-talk with them, pre-line it up? How did you end up in Spokane with Made Right coming across from Pennsylvania?
Yeah, that's a good question. Here you go. So my brother and I, we're big into backpacking.
Okay.
So we spent 6 weeks backpacking national parks in the country. We just drive. We backpack 3 days in, 3 days back. We hit up about like 26 parks, I think.
Wow.
So during our trip, we stopped in Spokane to re-up. Couple times because it was equidistant from Glacier in Montana and the North Cascades in Washington.
Oh.
And then Yellowstone's like 8 hours south. So we hit Spokane a couple of times on our trip.
Okay.
We ended up loving the place.
Really?
So we wrapped up our trip, went back to Pennsylvania, or went back to PA.
Yeah.
About a week later, we were like, let's go. And we packed up, came out to Washington. We got a place lined up real quick.
Okay.
Moved out here, got a place. You know, my brother, he likes to blow glass, and so he's a glass blower.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Good market over there too.
Yeah, and
is he still in Spokane blowing glass?
no, he actually just went back to do an internship in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I wanted to be closer to family.
Yeah, that's understandable.
But myself, I mean, I came out here knowing I wanted to get in this industry. And just knew it would take some time, you know, to find the right people and find the right company.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was pushing paper at Staples for a while.
Interesting.
Selling ink and toner and
all that good stuff.
loving life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So for you even, I think that's a great story, the fact that it wasn't immediate. Like, you had to work at it to get a job.
Constantly.
Yeah, exactly. So with that of breaking into the industry, give me an idea. How long did it take you to break into the industry?
Well, I guess, you know, I mean, even I would say people who've been in it for quite some time, it changes so rapidly. It's every day is just a new experience, you know.
But when you moved out of Spokane, did it take you 6 months, 8 months, a year to break into get a job with Mirror? Like, how long were you working at trying to get in?
Real quick, I think about 3 months.
Oh, okay. That is actually a lot quicker than some people. Some people, I mean, we hear stories where people are like, I've been trying to get in for 3 years. You know what I mean? So obviously having the degree you had and that kind of background probably helped get, you know, people at a period of time, people were very hard sought trying to find extractors or people that could understand it intellectually. You know what I mean? You had people who used to do it open blasting or in the medical days,
right?
But that didn't necessarily translate into mass production of oil.
It's definitely different.
It's a lot different, and so even a lot of those people couldn't even make the transition even after the companies they came in with, and so that's interesting. But what would be your advice to somebody who's watching the show right now, and you would say, hey, if you want to get into the industry, what should they do?
Study. Study.
That's one of the better answers. We get a lot of interesting answers. So you say study what?
Cannabinoids, terpenes, entourage effects, conditions that cannabis helps with, and then personal experience. So, you know, I smoke a lot of dabs, a lot of flower, a lot of distillate, you know, but how else are you going to know what it does unless, you know, so that's like kind of the whole mad scientist thing is I'm the first guinea pig always on something new. But it keeps it interesting. Yeah. Dabs with frankincense don't go very well, by the way. That's something that you want to steer clear from.
Okay. If we get time, which I'm not saying we're going, I'm going to definitely dive into questions on that, guys. Don't you worry. So talk to me about where can people kind of like, how many stores are you guys in now? Kind of tell me about, since you were one of the early extraction companies on the scene, obviously Spokane is literally the location where a lot of people have all that excess trim, or there's just a lot of growers who aren't even processing. It does seem like you guys could easily be running 3 shifts. Talk to me about that kind of getting on the store shelves, because that's the only way the consumer gets it in this state. Are you guys in 300 stores? Are you guys basically just everywhere? What has kind of been your guys' go-to market strategy?
300 out of like the 330 that there are.
Yeah,
pretty solid. Yeah, not quite that much.
Okay,
we're in 100 stores.
Oh, good.
Give or take, maybe 10.
Gotcha. So I mean, there's basically not a major city where there would be more than 2 or 3 stores where you would definitely be. I mean, you probably, are you guys, I'm assuming on that side, you're probably in that, there's the Walla Walla stores, and there's like this big gap, and then there's Spokane and Wenatchee. Are there shops in Chelan? I always forget. I think there's some shops in Chelan. They were fighting everyone for a little while. I just don't know where that's currently at. But are you handling, when you say kind of operations, are you handling making sure things are leaving on time and looking at that? Or are you just basically making sure it gets packaged and looks good, and then it's on to some other person on the team? Give me a breakdown of the people on the team that help get it to the stores.
Yeah, no. So my job is complete oversight.
Okay.
Writing the standard operating procedures.
Gotcha.
Getting the machine working the way I want it to work, smooth, efficient, and I still have a lot of oversight in the closed loop and in the lab where we're doing distillations.
Gotcha.
And the candy, and then yes, overseeing packaging, concentrates going in the right containers, double checking, quantities going out, timing the courier service to, we're a fairly small company.
Yeah.
And to do all these deliveries on the west side.
Yeah.
Would be insanity.
So you guys, that's a great question. This is the industry show, so I love getting into those kind of details.
Yeah.
For companies here on the west side, very much, even though they're going to sit in traffic going through Seattle and all that kind of stuff, very hard pressed on avoiding the carrier services. However, what I see more and more is everybody on your guys' side are all 2 thumbs up on the courier services. So just since we love to get into the details here, talking about you guys use, and I'm not you don't have to name the company, like a Canavan, a Turtle Terps, or Speedy Weed, or one. I don't know any of the other ones, but is that what you guys use, or did you hire your own employees that just drive all day long?
We did that initially.
Okay.
And then we actually are using a courier service called Terpene Transit, and goddamn, they are awesome.
Oh, good.
They are on time. They go out the extra mile. They make sure deliveries get to the proper location at the right time. They're great, and they've been a lifesaver.
Good. Yeah. Well, that's really good to hear. My personal opinion on it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong or you disagree, is the fact that there's just no way to hire in-house employees and have it be as efficient as someone else can go to all the farms around you and pick it up, and then go do multiple other stops and pick that all up, and then even pick up, and then go from a store to another farm and do a pickup, and just there's efficiency there that no single company is going to get.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, at some point it has to be cheaper. They can do it literally cheaper with a profit than you could ever do yourself.
Yes.
And so back in the days, you said you started with just hiring an employee and they're driving it direct. Well, let me just ask, what did you guys do with that employee when he couldn't drive for you anymore? Did you let him go, or did you bring him in house and help him start packaging?
Oh, we brought him back in house.
Yeah, you're like, now get on the line.
Yeah,
we got some weed to get done.
Way unfair. Just to say, hey, we don't need a driver anymore. See you later. Best of luck. No, we got him packaging. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So why? I guess the big question is especially being over there in the Spokane area, you guys are only a tier 2. Do you have any history around why you guys don't have a tier 3? Because basically everyone out there seems to have so much acreage that everyone's a tier 3. You know what I mean? Was it something about the facility when they were first starting out, or just they decided to apply and didn't want to worry about dealing with 30,000 square feet? Because it just feels like a big disadvantage now looking at it in hindsight.
Yeah, and I guess it depends also on your business model. Do you go for small batch premium stuff like a tier 1? No problem. Or do you need to be in 100 stores and you need the volume of a tier 3? So while the farm supplies a lot of our flower, we do outsource quite a bit as well. And another great thing about the courier service is the farms out here on the west side can utilize them to manifest flower to us, and they don't have to drive 5 hours
to get it to you,
and then 5 hours back. Yeah,
exactly.
It's the best.
Exactly.
It really opens up a lot more business opportunities.
Across
the state versus being stuck kind of local.
But
as far as the tier 2, tier 3, I'm not sure about the reasoning behind just going for the tier 2.
Okay.
Maybe they thought it was, I'm assuming it was the perfect size for them. Not too hot, not too cold.
Right down the middle. I gotcha. So let's kind of jump into branding, marketing, those kind of things. It is the industry show that plays a huge part of it. For you guys not being able to really, except for vendor days and a few other occasions, really talk to who your end consumer is. What are you guys doing to get your message out there? Talk about your brand, your values, your products. What have you guys tried doing in the past? What's worked? What hasn't?
So really, so far, that's my current big push is marketing.
Okay.
And I want to really go back and redevelop the website, and I want it to be a breadth of information, like the hub.
Okay.
You have a question about cannabis? Boom. Well, Made Right's website probably has the answer.
Oh,
I want to talk
interesting.
about cannabinoids, terpenes, what the best use or what time or how to use certain ones in combination to get the most effects out of them.
Interesting.
Because
so it seems like a major SEO almost play if you're just going to have this mass volume of information that if people literally had question, because you're in that space, you're competing against so many other, like some people even ask, do people even go to websites anymore? But like you're competing against, Leafly, and Weed Maps really doesn't have that much information, but like Cannabis.com and some of those other major players that are literally producing volumes of content every day.
Oh, that's great.
And which is great.
Exactly what we need. It's
but,
awesome.
But then for people to be able to think about you guys to find your website, are you guys planning on like blogging every day? How are you going to get that much content around cannabis generate? Is that going to be you? You're going to change your entire role, or are you going to hire people in? Talk to me more. Give me some more details.
Yeah, so not really going to go for the whole leafly where I'm going to provide information on every strain.
Exactly.
But I'll focus on the 20, 24 that we have.
Okay.
I'll really elaborate on them, and go more into, like we're talking about, growing process, extraction process.
Okay. So let's transition, just because we haven't gotten into those details. Talk to me about what are the strains that you guys currently grow. What is a strain that someone would see on the shelf? I mean, obviously I can name off quite a few of them, but give us the ones that, in your opinion, are your top 5 to 10 sellers that you love.
Okay. I love the MILF we grow out there.
Yes.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It makes nice little, popcorn buds, and it's a real nice heady sativa. I love it. The Candy Kush are 2 of my favorites. And those, when we turn that into sugar wax, oh my God, the terp profile just comes through phenomenally. And the concentrate smells just like the flower. Tastes just like it.
Oh,
that's just like it.
Yeah, those are always the faves. For oil people, it's always when it's just like, dude, it is just spot on.
Well, that's how I would define a good concentrate. I'm looking, is it properly made? Is it clean?
Yep.
Clean solvent, good purge. Clean equipment.
Yeah.
And then does it resemble the flower where it came from? Does it smell like it? Does it taste like it? Does it are the effects similar to it? Because it should just be a concentrated version of the flower.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Candy Kush, MILF.
MILF, LSD, Granddaddy Perp, Blue Dragon.
Don't you guys have like Afghani, Kush? I forget. I'm trying to think of any of the other strong indicas that you guys really carry.
Okay.
That's always
GDP is a great textbook.
Yeah, exactly.
One of my favorites.
That's always. It always seems like there's a strong base of dabbers. It almost feels like almost like a 60-40 that really love really strong indica dabs.
Interesting. I've never heard this.
That is the thing. When you're on the retail storefront, you get to talk to every single customer and really see. That's one of the things a lot of times. And when we do our Chronicast show, I don't know if you've watched it, but obviously our strong viewers out there that watch all the time, we appreciate it. Is we go into some of the details of like, dude, this is what we sit here. I see 500 customers a day. Look at your package, and not talking about MR, but I'm just talking about in general. Then look at another package, and which one do they decide and why? And some people it comes down to price. Some people it comes down to the packaging. Sometimes it comes how the nug looks. There's a whole bunch of reasons on why someone does something. But when you're literally getting a one-on-one interaction, we don't have a store, and I know some stores are a little bit more like this, where people are just lined up in queue, and it's like, look at the board, you don't see anything, and tell me what you want, let's go.
Right.
And out, we have it where it's like, shop around, and we get a lot more of a customer interaction on every single individual customer, and so you can see what it is they do and why, not just, well, that one has 82% 0.5 and the other one had 82.4%. So I chose the one with the 0.5 because clearly it was stronger. And I mean, there are people that buy that way.
Sure.
Let's not kid ourselves. But the vast majority of people are, they're looking for something specifically for what they want to get. And even us, we've found that it's much better to talk to someone and say, how do you want it to feel? How do you want to be? And I think your website would be phenomenal if it really talked to you about what is it the effect's going to be, because let's get to it. Do people really care that Blue Dream is blueberry crossed with super silver haze, or do they care how does it make me feel?
Sure, and that's a fun fact, knowing your lineage. But mostly I'd like to elaborate, or it would be real concise, similar to Leafly, like maybe 3 predominant flavors.
That'd be great.
A couple recommended activities maybe for the strain, like clean your car or lawn work.
Dude,
I like
trust me, yes.
And knocking out chores. That's my thing.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, there's so much of like, this one's gonna make you want to clean your house and then go for a jog,
right? A little great
and
crack,
then binge watch Game of Thrones. So,
yes, which been pretty good so far.
Man, dude, the show, guys. Obviously, today is Tuesday. I unfortunately didn't get to watch it Sunday night, but I watched it last night. And so we're just so anybody, because people do, they watch these later. I'm just going to give anything. I'm not going to say anything either, but I'll just give some context. The episode 2 has just aired on Sunday, and obviously a lot of fighting going on and getting good.
It's going to be an epic season.
Yeah, but the thing is there's only 6 episodes this season.
I know.
So if the one thing I noticed, and I know we're off topic, we'll get back to the industry show. Guys, stay with us. The only thing is, man, are they just speeding it up? You know, it was a slow burn for 6 seasons, and now it's like, we're deciding to have a meeting, and everyone somehow got here really fast. Like, I mean, it's like they are definitely speeding it up,
really pulling it together.
Yeah,
really quick.
so it'll be interesting what they achieve. But anyway, I do apologize. Getting back to the actual show, guys.
Sorry,
You are actually watching the industry show presented by Danks and Emporium. Today we have Made Right. Chris is here with me on the industry show, and they are actually at Danks and Emporium. It is a vendor day. 20% off all their products all day long, not just while they're here. They're here from 3 p.m. To 6, 7 o'clock, depending upon when they got to get out of here. So come down, ask them all the questions, get details, and obviously get deals on their products. We have a variety of their oil and their pre-rolls and all that good stuff. We do love their products. It is a great price point before the 20% off. So this is kind of a blowout special.
Oh, yeah.
But back to kind of more about your guys' companies, and we were talking about branding. The thing that I wanted to really dive into was you're going to have your website, as we talked about. Then you got to get traffic to go there. What else are you guys doing to actually get out to people? You know, it's hard to have people find you. Some people have websites and it gets 10, 15, 20, impressions a day. You know, that's like nothing. And so what are you guys going to do to really talk to people? As you mentioned, your Instagram, is that really your current portal on talking to people? Okay, go for it.
Yes. So Instagram, pictures, imagine that.
Yeah.
Website is going to be for like knowledge about cannabis.
Okay.
Facebook is going to be our platform for interacting with the customer.
Yeah.
Answering questions directly.
Okay. So you really want people to like hit you up with questions on Facebook. And do you guys already have a page that you have up now, or are you needing to build that out?
Oh, we do. It's
good.
It's like a soft launch. You know, I want to go back and really fine tune the online presence. But
gotcha.
If you look up MR Wholesale on Facebook,
boom,
it
there
should
you go.
pop up.
Yeah, exactly. The Facebook search is getting better these days, and so it's easier to find, especially business pages. You know,
yeah,
with unique names. Are you guys doing anything where you are spending money or have spent money on print, magazines, billboards? I don't think flyers would be one. I'm just saying it. Dude, back in the day, in the medical days, we literally had planes flying around with with company names behind them at HempFest. Like, people have tried a lot of different things. What other things have you guys tried?
So we've gone a couple traditional routes as well.
Okay.
Print. We've had a couple ads in Dope Magazine.
Okay.
Usually for our candies, we'll pull out a full page ad for that.
Gotcha.
And then Cannabis magazine, I believe, around in the Spokane area.
Okay.
As far as print, that's kind of it. And then all of our cards, have our website on it, and it kind of directs people to the website.
Gotcha.
A little blister pack card.
Okay.
And so between, the website, knowledge, Facebook interaction, Instagram.
Have you guys, let me just ask, a lot of companies are going heavy sticker. I
want to get some nice stickers
and
too.
so have you guys been like slipping those into your packaging? That's always been everyone's way to get them out to just everybody. Is that something you guys have tried or are doing? I haven't seen an MR sticker in the past, so I could be just completely wrong.
No, we haven't had one.
Okay.
I want to come out with something like this.
Okay.
Just a little green circle with the logo.
Nice.
And yeah, maybe
Maybe a dab mat. It's a perfect shape for a dab mat.
I know. Yeah, I want to get custom made one just for myself. But
yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, dab mat. That's a good one.
No, we're coming up with ideas here, guys. Obviously, if you have ideas, I'm getting hearts over there for the dab mat. I'm loving it.
Dab mat, yes.
So yeah, if you guys have thoughts, ideas, obviously chime those in. We're obviously getting to as many questions as you have, but if you also have suggestions for myself or for Chris here at Made Right, chime those in. We'd love to hear them. The thing I will kind of dive on down into is, have you guys, as you said, have you ever run Instagram ads? Have you ever run Facebook ads? What are you guys doing, since those seems to be the platforms that are already up and you're having success with? What have you gone down that road, or do you keep it totally organic? What is your guys's?
Right now, it's kind of totally organic, I guess you could say.
Okay.
I guess you could almost say it's like a bare bones, minimal online presence, but that's the next big push. I really want to establish a nice, strong presence there. Okay. A place where the consumer can go, have questions answered.
Yep.
Interact with the people making the product. And kind of create more of a personal experience and bridge the gap between processor and consumer.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Interesting.
So that's kind of the plan. But yeah, stickers, I'm thinking maybe pre-roll tubes. But I do want to start handing out stickers and something. Yes.
Yep.
Little green Made Right sticker. I like it. Yep.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yep,
interesting. So I guess the thing is, any platform that you guys have built, like, Instagram is the absolute best one to use this as an example. Is like you make a page and then it's like, oh, well, no one's on my page. No one's following me. How have you guys organically, since you said it was organically, how have you guys organically got the number of followers that you have? Is it just by being in 100 stores that people are just finding you because they see your logo everywhere just from being on the shelf? And so you guys have really actually gone about it almost in a reverse engineering way, is that you became a brand through having a lot of shelf space in a lot of places, and that kind of helped out by being so such a price conscious brand. Kind of give me that current past strategy of what has led to your current success.
Yeah, I think we're catching up on the social media marketing aspect. You know, we were out there at a price point putting out quality product, and people knew MR, but if you want to go look for the website, you know, it wasn't really quite there.
Gotcha.
So now I wanted to match, you know, our online presence with, you know, what people are in the light that they view us now, you know, and actually and marry those two.
Gotcha. Has vendor days been a big thing for you guys? Has that been a thing that you guys have in the past done a lot? Are you looking at doing more of that, or is doing a vendor day here at Danks Emporium kind of like a rarity? Tell me about I want to understand the producer processor world when you come to vendor days.
Yeah, it's been so this is the past year I've been focusing so much on product development, process engineering. This is the first vendor day.
Really? Man, we are all about first here with MR on the industry show. It's like first vendor day, first announcements of new brands coming out, first announcements of crystalline. Man, this is a show of the first. I'm just going to name myself Larry King. That's what I do over here.
I like it. There you go.
God, nice. I'll get the suspenders later. I keep them in the back.
Yeah.
So this is your guys' first vendor day.
My first vendor.
Your first vendor day.
Yeah.
And but have you guys had other sales team members who, are they doing these things often? What have you guys done in the past?
Yeah.
With 100 stores, I mean, dude, you literally could have a full-time person doing nothing but vendor days.
I know, and I was talking about that with Russ, one of our sales guys downstairs, moving forward. But it's not so much kind of been sporadic. But I do, now that all the processes and the product is where I want it, now I want to make a big push and do a lot of vendor days, you know, get out there, talk to people, answer questions, just really get out there more.
Get out there more.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask this question. It's one of my personal favorites. It's kind of a screwball question, so just be ready about this. For those viewers who have watched before, they've obviously heard this one before. What is the least effective marketing you guys have ever done? We get the craziest answers on this show. I'm going to give you a second to obviously think about it, because it's like, oh man, we tried Meerkat and that really didn't work out, you know, or something like. I mean, it's what have you guys sat there, tried, put money behind, not put money behind, just put a bunch of time behind it. It doesn't really matter, but where did you just go, man, we really tried this and it just didn't work out? It could be a failed website, it could be whatever. It's never the same for two companies. That's what's so unique about it. We've gotten a lot of interesting feedback, and I think a lot of great things for just the industry show in general, of us having an open dialogue of what's working for us and what's not. So talk to me about what is the least effective marketing that you guys have ever done in the past?
Well, I would probably say it was the website version 1.0. It was a travesty.
Oh, man. Kind of looked like 1995. And
no doubt. It was like 1990s template.
Gotcha.
It was right when we first started, we were trying to do that and, develop this brand new company, this brand new industry. That kind of got priority. The website development kind of fell off the map. We revisited a couple months ago to at least make it decent, like landable, like people could show up and it's like, okay, it's a website.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of, but it's not like in construction still.
Gotcha.
Yes, and taking in like a year and a half to get to like a soft launch website was probably the worst marketing decision. I have to completely agree with you. So I'll tell us our own dirty secrets. Back when we were medical, I mean, we had 4 shops and had no website. We refused to do it. We just drove everyone to Weed Maps because it was like, dude, to get something that's going to navigate and work with online menus and all that kind of stuff for 4 different inventories, God help us. Just, we had our domains, but we just pointed them all to Weed Maps so that people could find it. That's where, back in those days, that's just where everybody went, Right. Things have obviously changed now. And so when we went from that to
recreational here, our website was just atrocious. But also, not that many people go to webs. You know, they're on their phone, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on Twitter, they're on Periscope, they're on they're on Live Me now, and the next, you know, Snapchat. That's the one thing that we don't. It's the one that we don't stream on, and so it's much more where people never really have to go find you. They want you to come live in the platform they are in. That's what we found. And so we definitely didn't put very much on. We now have a better website that kind of has a more full, if you want to really come and see the whole breadth of the industry show, the Chronicast, the menus of in the stores. If you want to do pre-ordering, if you want to buy online, you know, now it has that. But yeah, no, man, we're 2 years into of just being like, oh God, our website is just so bad. So I totally feel that of
same thing.
Yeah,
same
exactly.
Thing. You're like,
so,
it's time to get this dialed in. You gotta get the website dialed in.
Gotta get it. It's like, man, we're making great concentrates. Can't you at least put a good looking photo of it online?
But we had our priorities straight.
Yeah, exactly.
Product, and then worry about the website.
Product first. And, you know, that's one thing. If you get really loud, but your product's not good, man, you're just gonna put yourself out of business that much quicker, because then more people try and go, yeah, I ain't buying that again. And so that's the one good thing is people come in, yeah, I've tried those guys, I like that, I'm gonna get that again. And I'm sure that's what you guys have seen being in 100 stores and those kind of things. The big thing is as we wrap up the show, we have gone long. We always go long on this show. That's just one of the things that we do. I do want to just touch base once again that, guys, you've been watching the industry show presented by Danks Emporium. We're absolutely had a pleasure of speaking with Chris from Made Right. They are doing a vendor day in our store. So if you're watching this live and you are local, please come on in, meet the guys, talk to them. They're down there between 3 and 6 p.m. They will be on the Chronicast. I've heard epic things about what's going down on this Chronicast. So, Chris, just give us a tad bit of a preview of what's going to happen when we go live at 420. What are we smoking on at 420?
Okay, so we're going to be smoking on some of the distillate that we're going to debut under that upper brand.
Oh,
you guys are
wow.
in for a treat.
Okay.
So I got I got some raw, lemon, orange, pineapple, XJ13, Durban Poison.
So some of these are raw, and then some of them have added terpenes.
Yep.
Okay.
I brought some actual cannabis isolated terpenes. They're pure cannabis
just terpenes.
So we can add them.
Wow,
to some
this is gonna be impressive. Very few people ever get a dab true terpenes. Okay. What else we got?
Got a 3.5 gram joint.
Nice.
A jumbo joint, I guess you could
jumbo
call it.
joint,
a JJ,
okay.
I like it.
Nice.
And yeah, we got some concentrates. We got some of our LSD sugar wax.
Okay.
Some candy crumble, and some Pineapple Express sugar wax.
Oh, man. Okay. So, guys, obviously tune into that. We also have some special guests who are also going to be on the show. That is something you're definitely not going to want to miss. And we always appreciate it during the Chronicast if you guys smoke with us. But with that, guys, obviously we've gone long. Chris, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know more about you and more about Made Right. Guys, I hope you have learned a lot while watching the show and listening on the podcast. Chris, anything you'd like to close out with?
No, just want to recap that, you know, what we're about is doing it right, making good, clean product at an affordable price.
Great. Well,
and that's it.
Thanks for coming on. Once again, guys, the industry show presented by Danks Wonder Emporium. And we will see you guys very soon in a couple hours for the Chronicast. And as always, guys, live higher.